So guys, we've got into position with the mountain behind us, and I've kind of got a nice composition that I'm working with. So while we're waiting for the light, because obviously we're waiting for a sunset to illuminate the clouds above and maybe move a little bit out of the way so it exposes the top part of the mountain up there. What I thought I'd do while I was waiting is to get my Kase filters, grab a couple of, I got the 10 stop and the 6 stop filters and stack them because I wanted to experiment and see if I could get really long shutter speed to really capture a bit of movement in those clouds. Just to kind of simplify the sky a bit and kind of create a bit of drama above the mountains back there. So what I did was stack 2 filters. I put one on at first, experimented with that time, saw what the result was like, and then double stacked again. And it ended up being an 8-minute long exposure. Now that took quite a while of waiting around just to see what it was like, and it was 50-50 whether it was going to work, but it was one of those things I just really wanted to experiment with just to see the results. But it was worth the effort, I think. I was a bit concerned it was going to be too long and maybe blow out a bit of the sky or the snow on the mountains there, but it actually turned out really, really nice. So my settings were around f16, ISO 100, and as I said it before, it was an 8-minute long exposure and it came out absolutely superb. I'll pop the shot up now so you can see exactly how it came out. But this was shot on a Fuji GFX 50S2 with the 35-70 lens, and I'm right out at 35mm to get as wide a scene as possible with it. So yeah, this is just one of the things that you can do with filters, and I probably won't use that shot for sunset, as in I won't use the filters again for sunset because it'll probably turn out way too dark. But while you're waiting, you can kind of experiment and get some really different shots. Always worth just trying different things to see what works. Now the amazing thing about the Kase filters, especially with this sort of situation, is no colour cast whatsoever. Although I got a dark image, it wasn't so dark that it's not recoverable. So I can bring that back out in post and it's going to look perfect. Now the other important thing I'm using the filters for is I'm using a CPL, and I'm actually using an ND8 and a CPL combined. And the reason is I want to kind of take the highlights off the snow while at the same time being able to polarize the sky and actually make the blue parts of the sky a lot darker. So it's especially handy for that sort of scenario, and especially when the sun is across to the right hand side of us. The sun's coming in from the side, so the polarizer is doing a really great job of just making that sky all the darker, and it just brings back all the detail that would have normally been lost.
Right, while we're waiting for the sun to go down, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Kase filters, and in particular the Black Mist ND2 to 5 stop. This is an 82mm filter thread. I believe they do them in all the common sizes, so 77, 82, 67. And what this enables me to do is when I'm shooting my video work, this is what I use it for in particular, is for my video, instead of altering my shutter speed to suit the exposure, what I'll do is I'll drop the Black Mist variable ND filter on. I'll adjust it obviously between 2 and 5 stops, which is quite a good meaty section of exposure. So you've got plenty of range there, plenty of stops of light to stop or increase, and that allows me to shoot my shutter speed at 1/50th of a second because I shoot in 24 frames a second. So I want to try and maintain that shutter speed, which is double my frames per second. Yeah, so that's what I use it for predominantly, because with my ND filters, I have the Kase Wolverine system, circular system. I tend to use them for water and things like that. But you could also use this for that purpose, rather than carrying a 3, a 6, and obviously not a 10. It only goes up to 5. But instead of carrying a 3 and a 6 stop, you could take this with you down to your local stream, your local beach, and dial in your exposure just by turning it, and keep your bag a little bit lighter. So yeah, this is the Kase Black Mist ND 2 to 5 stop. This is 82mm. And just before we go quickly, the Black Mist has like almost gives you images like a glow, which I like for video. It's not to everyone's taste, but it does. When you get a bit of light, especially golden light like we're getting now, it will make your images glow, which is another benefit of this filter.
Okay, so today in the Italian Alps, we're going towards a location where there is a beautiful waterfall. And to get to this location, we're travelling along this beautiful crested valley all the way deep into the area. I'm going to show you later how I use a Pentax 15-30 wide-angle lens with a very big bulging lens on the outside, and how I use the big system holder, which is basically the lens I use most of the time. But on the way going down towards this location, we're coming across some amazing details. We've got this beautiful backdrop with really, really beautiful tones in it, and some of these isolated trees with a bit of backlit leaves behind it, which is really capturing my attention. So apart from the 15-30, I always like to carry with me this big bulky lens. It's a 70-200 2.8 lens. It's a beautiful lens, and it's got a 77mm thread on it. So to capture this this type of scene, a lot of the time people would just basically just get the camera out, zoom in, and take an image. I'm finding with this harsh light in the background, when you're going to zoom in and take an image like this, you're going to lose the details in the background through the haziness in that harsh light. So I'm going to use a filter kit by Kase, which is the magnetic system. It's a brilliant little system. It's compact, and they're just basically different ringed filter systems. You've got a step up on them, and they're magnetic, and they're so easy to get it on and off. You know, you just basically you have your step up ring that you need for the different type of lens, and you just basically just put it straight on. Too easy to use. So I'm going to screw this circular CPL onto the front of my lens here and get in and capture one of these trees and show you how I do it. Okay, so if you can see the tree down there, the beautiful shapes in it, we've got this backdrop with hints of green and browns, and it's a bit hazy. So as I said, I want to be able to get rid of that haze by using the polarizer. It's very, very harsh light, so I think the polarizer is going to do a really good job of absorbing some of that light and giving some detail to the background. Although I'm using a zoom lens and I'm using a low f-stop, I do want the background to be less important as the actual tree, the frame itself, but I still want to give a bit of colour and some optical detail. And the best way to do this and to achieve it is to use a CPL, because we're optically enhancing the image rather than doing it in post-production. This is a far more effective method. So I'm going to get in, frame up my shot, and just spin, looking through my optical viewfinder just until I'm happy with my frame, and I'm just seeing those trees. Even if I'm using my f-stop at around f5, I can just see just polarizing, turning around, just the richness in that background coming out even more, while at the same time I'm maintaining a very good depth with the actual tree itself.
We are here in Grand Sasso Mountain, so you can see the big horn and the little horn over there. And I'm just trying the new
armor system from Kase. It is totally magnetic, and the only thing is not magnetic is the holder. So I can use some adapter ring to fit the holder to my lens. It is actually a 58 mils. When I see at the mountains, I can see I will need a polarizer. So just before installing the holder, I will put a polarizer like this just behind the mountain, and then it's all done. So right now I have to ring this wheel until the CPL will affect on the clouds and on the sky. Let's see. Okay. It is working, yeah. So at the moment I am polarizing the sky and some of the clouds. So maybe I would like to do a longer exposure, so I will use the ND 64, just like this. I'm done. In this way I am able to take a longer exposure of the mountains. So let's try a shot, 2-second timer, and grab the shot. So right now we have a problem with the mountains, because we have a lot of light in the sky and a lot of shadows on the mountain. So maybe it's time to use a graduated filter, just like this. Boom. Then we can move the filter like this, up and down, until we are happy with the balance. 2-second timer and grab the shot. Boom.
So here we are this evening at a destination we were at last night. We were going to go to the lake, but unfortunately conditions weren't that good. We were going to go to a waterfall, the light was harsher. We've come back to a location we were at last night. And today I'm going to show you how I use the Kase K150P filter system holder on my Pentax 15-30 lens. So nice big scene here, mountain scene, beautiful scene. I'm shooting wide at 15 mils. I'm trying to get all this scene in here. We've got these lovely green colours as the light shines in through here. The issue we have with an image like this, that it's around 6 p.m, so it's not sunset yet. We've got a few hours till it's sunset, and basically we've got a bit of haze, which sometimes is really nice. It's a good effect in an image to give depth. But in this case here, we've got a little bit too much haze, and we've got a bit of a lack of detail in those mountains and in those clouds. And though I don't really like that very saturated blue sky, some people might. In this instance, I want to get a little bit more detail, which I could produce in post-production, but I'm finding in this instance that I'll prefer to enhance that detail optically and get a far better image overall. So here you can see with this lens, we have this bolting lens element coming out, so it's impossible for us to have a screw-on filter system. A lot of people choose not to buy this type of lens because of this issue here, but optically they're an amazing lens. Tamron also make like a lens like this, and I believe Sigma have quite a few lenses like this. So Kase have created this filter system here, which basically what happens is it goes over the top of the built-in lens hood itself, and then we have a locking mechanism basically where we tighten down to the shaft on the back, and it basically locks this holder on the top of the hood itself. It's very, very sturdy, and from there we have the 150mm circular polarizer, which we can put over the top, which I use quite a lot on this lens system. And that's a magnetic. It just fits straight in there. It's beautiful to use. This little gearing system at the bottom. We have this little gearing system at the bottom where we can just turn it, and the actual mechanism inside will turn the magnetic filter around to polarize into place. So when you've got a lens like this, I recommend getting a filter system like this and trying it at the CPLs, especially in conditions like this where you want to get the big wide scene and to eliminate a bit of haze. It's a great way to eliminate a little bit of haze using a polarizer. So that's how I capture these type of mountain scenes in this condition this time of day. So it was really interesting capturing a scene like this evening, this mountain scene, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And see like 4 different photographers with 4 different styles, with 4 different completely
Countries.
different
Different countries.
countries as well too. Well, almost. Yeah. 4 different styles, way of shooting, and different kits, so different lenses, different cameras, shooting the same scene and applying their Kase filter kits, which are all completely different Kase filter kits, to capture this scene, and how we actually use the filters to enhance these scenes optically. I think we all could pretty much say that, you know, especially a scene like this, because it's a very, very hazy north face mountain, that, you know, taking that little bit of a haze off and increasing the detail using a polarizer, maybe not to the full extent, a little, just a hint. It really paid off on the scene, didn't it?
It did, And some of us were shooting like long exposures. I tried a long exposure with it. Obviously, not everybody likes it, but just experimenting with it, innit, and see what you do.
No, that was really good. And you've got the new armor kit now, and you.
So I try to. Fuck. No, that's good. You will cut that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Say it again.
So Luigi, you've got the new armor kit now.
Yes, I got a couple of days ago. So I'm just new in.
New to the system.
New into the system. So I try different things. I like to experiment something new.
Yeah, definitely.
But today the CPL was really necessary to get rid of the haze,
to absorb a bit of that light. Definitely, it's a great system. That armor system.
It is.
It's so quick, isn't it? That's what I like.
Oh, the magnetic, it just saves so much time.
Instantaneous.
It is. I mean, even with that I've got the new wide angle filter kit now for the 15 to 30. Before I had the screw-on system, and then later on I had the the 150mm square system to slide in. And a lot of the time it took you that long to put the actual filter kit on. Half time you would just get lazy and say, I won't worry about it, bang, and just take it without any filters.
Well, you'd lose the light as well by the time
you do. But I mean, these pneumatic systems, it's incredible. It's just bang bang on so quick. It's effortless.
It's all done. In a couple of seconds.
Yep, that's right. So it's really important with these systems. So, and it's good to see everyone with all these different systems that we actually that Kase cover a huge range of filter systems to basically fit everyone's needs and everyone's equipment. So
it works really well.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
And for me, the biggest problem with filters and shooting with a long lens was having to not being able to use them whilst I using a lens hood. And with the magnetic system that Kase do, I can use it across all my lenses to my widest filter thread, and I can use the new lens adapter, the Magarines, because they work perfectly with the Wolverine ones.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I can adjust my whatever filters I want to use to cut the haze, like we talked about today.
Yep.
And then I can put my lens hood on, the rubber adjustable one. It means that just because I use a long lens, I'm not penalised, and I can still get the best image I can. So yeah, brilliant.
Spot on.
Great stuff.
So overall, it's been a fantastic trip, eh?
Certainly has.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks, Luigi.
No, thanks to you for coming to Italy.
You're welcome. Absolutely loved it.
Can't wait to share the images with you guys.
Yeah, no. Hopefully, what we'll do is you'll have seen a few of them throughout the video. We'll pop them up, and then we'll pop a few at the end as well.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks for joining us, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Kase.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.